Houston, how are we? Good to see you all. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, man.
There he is.
Hey, Patrick. What's going on?
He's trying to figure out this technology thing. Push the button with the thing on it.
Man himself.
There he is.
How are you, Patrick?
How is it going yourself? How are you?
Good to see you.
Likewise. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm really good now. Thanks for having me on this beautiful platform.
Well, I tell you, I'm gonna try switch back as soon as Chad was having problems with his thing, and I was about to make a joke, and then my computer said, fuck off." So it's let me. So I'm on the telephone now. I've got the big curly cord coming out of the wall. I'm gonna try on the old computer and the wireless now.
You can take the man out of Dublin, or me, does it?
Stop. No, I wouldn't even go to Meath on a wrong turn, let me tell you.
I'll tell you something, I'm the same.
The sound on the phone is miserable. I'm getting every third word. And luckily you're not from Dublin, or it would be
okay, bye.
Yeah. I swear to God, this thing runs like a champ until we get royalty. We got rock royalty on here, and then it goes, no, I'm embarrassed. I'm scared. Give me a second. Yeah, Chad, let me in. I'm gonna turn this.
You're entering twice. We're gonna have four or two Patricks.
That's better than none. Well,
God damn it!
Right, I'm gonna boot the other Patrick.
Boot him.
It's asking me if I want to report you.
Yes, please report me. Somebody
report him. Hey, Chad, what episode is this?
Oh, yes. This is episode number 101 of SlapperCast.
101.
Yeah. And we're here with our good friend Rickie O'Neill.
Whoa.
Rickie O'Neill, actor, drummer first. Never forget that. Drummer first, actor, DJ, singer. You know, and available for private parties, ladies.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Great to meet you, Rickie.
Fabulous.
Drummer to drummer, musician to musician, as Patrick has failed to mention a couple of times already.
Musician to musician, yes, indeed. We're drummers too, you know. We're musicians too, you know. That's
well, we can edit that part out when we talk about Eric. Jump cut, Chad. Jump cut. To start at the beginning. You know, met you back in Claremorris, and it was the year was 1804. Or it was a long time ago, anyway. And we met you with Silver Circus, Dan Egan and the boys.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you see any of the lads anymore?
Well, absolutely. I see Dan all the time. I mean, he's we're besties. Like, it's simple as that. I don't see the other two as much as I'd like, Jack and I, but you know, they're well.
Good. Yeah. Please send our best.
Of course, I will.
Still big fans.
We still have our MySpace page. It's there somewhere.
Eamon Finnerty had introduced us to you. I don't know if you knew Paul. Paul ran the hotel that we played at.
Paul Hanley.
Yes. So he was.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was. He was. I guess guilty of piecing all this thing together, and it was just brilliant. The people that came. I think that was our second. That was our first trip.
Yeah.
That was our first trip. That's right. And we. Just the people that came on that trip too were just absolutely gobsmacked at how brilliant the Silver Circus were, and how just you know, everybody was immediately at home. The dinner at the hotel was brilliant, and the crack was, I mean, just immeasurable. It was just one of those magical nights, you know.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, it totally is. It was a great thing. It was lovely and new as well, especially for the Western Hotel. That's what it's called. Because I don't think they often had bands in there playing. And if it was a band, it would be maybe a guy in a guitar or a DJ. But to have this onslaught of two bands and Blaggards, and Jesus, it was, you know, it was exactly coming from left field. They're like, whoa, this is absolutely insane. So it was great. And the town is rowdy as well. They love it.
Yeah.
We'll Morris, like the Wild West down there.
Huh?
Oh, I'd love to recreate that night for sure.
Yeah.
I'd love to. It's still there anyway. The hotel is still there.
Well, that means we didn't do our job. So you have a TV show coming out now, right? You're on a Viking show?
It's on tonight. It's getting its premiere in like an hour, 1 hour's time in Austria.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I can't really see it. All I'm getting is, all I can see is kind of little previews from all my investigating on online sources through Austrian websites and the actual network. But I think you need a VPN to actually view it, and I've no experience there, so I'm just going to see what happens. If it's getting it's a big release, for across mainland Europe and Ireland. It's huge. It's brilliant.
And what's the name of it?
It's called Victims of the Vikings. So it's a docu movie. It's about an hour and maybe an hour long, an hour and 10 minutes. And like we were supposed to film it. When were we supposed to film this? Last April, I think. Last April 2020, we were supposed to film it, and of course, COVID knocked that away. And that, like, when that went, I kind of thought, okay, that's going to not happen anymore. But even though there was a fairly strict audition process with a very well-known Irish casting director, it's like all them things. I auditioned and you forget about it, and you know. 2 months later, the phone rings. Hello, and then and then you're like, "Whoa, what the hell happened there?" So, COVID happened. I was like, "Okay, that would have been nice." But then, you know what? They readjusted the attack on the shooting, and shot it in August last year, which was a big thing. And it was a crash course in every kind of aspect of acting and filmmaking you could ever hope for. I always say to myself, to get better, you have to be surrounded by people that are absolutely way better than you. And this production was just that on every level. So I was just learning we had the director of photography from Peaky Blinders filming it. Whoa. So the way he commanded the set, and the way the director, and like these guys were all at the top of their game, and to step into that arena with them, like the shoot took 5 or 6 days, long days, and by the end of that 5 days, you're so grateful that the experience you've just had, because it's absolutely immeasurable in everything you've got from it. But then you just feel kind of like, what do I do now? Like, where do I put this energy? Because I just can't, like, it was a crash course in everything. It was absolutely phenomenal. And going into it, especially, I was like, okay, I have to do a good job here because I'm one of the leads. But I made sure to keep my eyes and ears open and see how people worked, how departments worked together. And yeah, it's phenomenal. It's great. So it's airing tonight. It's getting its premiere tonight. Austria. Woo!
Wow.
Lovely. Cool. What would you obviously, and correct me if I'm wrong here, which I'm never wrong. So just be gentle. Eric, I'm going to wait a minute till Eric stops. Yeah. In all seriousness, I mean, just not only are you one of our favorite people just because of our introduction was just like we said, it was a magical night. It was definitely one that you don't come across often. But and you take this as a compliment because it's a compliment. Your drumming is some of the finest I've seen, and I think I think growing up with Irish rhythms and Irish, just immersed in that, I always go to Brian Downey. There's not many people like Brian Downey, but he's a huge figure in rhythm and just so, somebody that can breathe music, And so your drumming, the drumming videos you did around Dublin, which I think we've put clips on before, but it was just breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. So would you say that drumming is your absolute? I mean, that's 7 days a week. That's what you'd want to do.
No, it's tough at the minute because, oh God, I mean, it's a tough one now to actually call because when I'm in it, I'm in it, like yourselves, when you're cooking along and the fire is going and you just don't want anything else. And I mean, I haven't played drums since May.
What?
Since I finished that. Good luck. I just by as luck would have it, because I was stuck at home in Mayo for the first lockdown, and then I ended up coming back to Galway to see my little godson, and I've been just here kind of with him since. So, I kind of haven't. I've lost touch with it, unfortunately. Which is, I know. I've completely I love it. I watch drumming videos all the time, and it makes me feel horrible about myself because the level of skill people have now at drums. You're just like, huh? What? What is this? What is this? And they're the most unassuming little people, and they just come out with these monster chops, and you're going, well, that's it. I guess I feed my sticks to a cow or something.
Wow.
But what I do now, I'm a crazy man like that, because once I go into the acting arena, then as in do a movie or whatever or a commercial, that's my focus then. Wow. And then it's all very lane with me, I'm all about the thing that I'm doing at the time, and because I haven't drummed in months, and it's funny because I bought a new drum kit as well, and then I bought it and then I left it. It was like of no fault of my own. It was just had to happen.
Yeah.
So it was all crazy, and it was actually, I was going back home over the Christmas, and I said to my dad, I was like, "How's my drums doing out in that new bar you built?" And he goes, "I don't know." I was like, "All right." I thought you might be checking up on them. No, I don't know. He hasn't looked in there at all. So what I do now is I do a lot of reading. I'm very focused on writing short stories, which is a different thing. I'm reading Roald Dahl, this dude, which is a total mind blower, but got into that, and that's a bit of a complex arena again, because it's just, it's an incredibly hard craft, writing, and you're doing it and you're going, what am I doing this for? But I guess it's for you, if no one else,
Wow.
So yeah.
Eric, how long does it take you to lose your chops by not playing?
I feel after, if I don't play for a couple of weeks, I'm ready to get back and play it. So by 2 weeks, I know that I've lost something, but I've also gained something more in insight. I think, we think we've talked about that before on the podcast. When you step away from the thing you do all the time, it's like a job. Like when you have your 2 weeks vacation, you come back kind of refreshed and kind of excited again.
Yeah.
So after 2 weeks, it's like I need to get the sticks back in my hands.
Yeah. Eric's one of these people that in our very short tenure together, he like yourself, he's got a whole different vocabulary when it comes to drums, and it's very huge. There's a huge pool to choose from, when you're writing stuff. And we had our first rehearsal yesterday in a long time, and we were able to just kind of switch up and just seamlessly go from different rhythms, and just try different attacks, and maybe change the texture to stuff and whatnot. And because I'm curious too, because you're obviously with the writing and the acting and stuff like that. I mean, obviously you got something else on your mind. But if the lockdown hadn't happened, would the Saw Doctors still be playing? Would you still be on the road with them, or was that a break?
I don't think so. The last tour we did was in 2017, I think, and that was a tour of the Highlands of Scotland and the UK. So that was just incredible, So we've no touring plans yet. We've no plans to go back on the road at any point at the minute. But never say never, Never say never. We got a new lineup in the band as well. We got 2 new members, a new bass player and a new keyboard player. So it's just great being part of that, and being one of that 6 people. It's just really great. But yeah, I hope to God they go back at some point. It'd be wonderful, because the people are there, and the people are mad for it, mad for action.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. So I don't know if you've ever been up to the Highlands of Scotland, have you?
Never. Yeah.
It's vast. We went up on the tour bus, and we brought a tour bus up there, and it's like you're in the bunk, and it's like sleeping in a wash and dryer, going up all these hills. You're just being fucking torn around, Jesus Christ. And it's crazy. It's crazy. But you get to these places, and I don't think I was ever in Texas now, but it's just it's vista, like, and you go up over a hill, and it's just this vast expanse of sea and mountain, and just incredible. And it's a different world up there. Really is. But hopefully, I really hope they do. I mean, being with the Docs was a massive training for me. I mean, I remember joining them at the very start, when we kind of had when I started shadowing Aveen. He was the previous drummer who I took over from. And I went out on their Christmas tour, and he was there, and I was watching how they did things and watching him, and they welcomed me in with open arms. And that wasn't long after our engagement, like me, the Blaggards and Silver Circus. It wasn't that long.
Right.
So it completely shifts how you attack music, how you think about music. It's phenomenal. And I'll tell you one of the best lessons in London. It was one of the first sound checks we did, and it was in the Shepherd's Bush Empire. And I sat in on the sound check and played a song, and it was just a dream come true. So we fit one of the songs, and Leo, he'd be the guy with the glasses, just turns around to me and he says, "Very good, might be a bit fast." And I was like, say no more. But it said so much. It just, that one comment just said so much. He didn't say it wasn't too fast. He didn't say it was too fast, or, play it slower. He said, might be a bit too fast. But erring on the side of, it was fair play to you. I mean, that's what it was beautiful. As a drummer, Eric, I'm sure you know yourself, it's just like, what am I thinking? But you put a crowd in front of anyone, things are about to speed up. Yes. Yeah.
Crowds and familiarity. The more you get familiar with a song, the easier it is for it to go. That's why bands, when they start a tour, by stop number 18, that song is, it's just as quick as it can possibly go. Yeah,
But it's
we
great.
learned,
It's great,
you know, you learn a lot when you push the, you know, when you get the new guy in and you push that energy gets thrown in. That's, you know, it's you know, we had to learn with Eric too, you know, if we count it off that fast, that's where it's going.
I was going to say, yeah.
So, because he was just going.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we, you know, so we learned how to play a little bit faster, and we definitely that energy. You're right. You cannot, and I think that's a sign of a professional too. He didn't turn around and snap at you. You know, he didn't turn around and you know throw the guitar down. That's a nice way to approach it, and you also keep the vibe on the stage very you know.
Yeah, it's pure gorgeous. I mean, I was just listening back or watched back Ash Sohn talking about playing with Van Morrison, and this, oh God, no! Like, fair play to him. Like that, like, I'd probably run a mile from that gig because I just, like, you know, I mean,
Ash did say that, you know, that Van was the, I think if that happened, I think that's exactly the way it happened. But I mean, just knowing, just watching the few videos that I watched from Ash, he's that good that Van Morrison just had, you know, didn't have anything to bitch about. So
yeah, it is absolutely as simple as that. He is that good. Yeah, it's just incredible. It was great. I told you had him on. It's fucking brilliant. You know, he's one of my heroes. Like, he's brilliant. Yeah,
he's a monster. Yeah, luckily for us, we have Eric, who's got everybody within a 1 or 2 phone calls away. You know, so we're very lucky in that regard.
Nice one, Eric. Great. It's a pleasure to be part of it.
We're gonna call this yet another drumming podcast. We're going to change the name of it from SlapperCast to yet another drumming podcast.
If you don't like the drummer, you really shouldn't be in music. You know, I mean, if your drummer's no good, your band's crap. If you don't like drums, chances are you're not human, or you're, you know, or
yeah.
But we all seem to gravitate towards the same kind of playing. You know, which is it's kind of universal, I think. You know, when you I mean, universal for the style of music that we're doing. If somebody's a pure Phil Rudd, you know, fan, or that's all they want to do is do that style, you know, then your band's kind of going to have that one gear, and as brilliant as he is, and has little credit as he gets, you know, from outside the drumming world, I think. You know, we just, Eric and I and Chad bonded over so many, and the same with Mike before too. We bonded over all these, you know, kind of metal drummers, but then we also loved the Stuart Copelands and the Ash Sohn, of course. And, you know, you have Brian Downey's, you have to have that, you know, you have to have that large picture, you know, or, you know, at least menu to draw from, you know what I mean?
My favorite drummer is probably, actually, it's not even probably, it's Max Weinberg.
Really?
Like him? Oh yeah, because I love drummers that contain their ability and just play 4/4 straight and have that, but they have these amazing jobs, but they just don't play them, and I love that. I don't know why. It's just like that stadium rock kind of stuff that you can really jam to. What's that? Tico Torres, Bon Jovi's drummer, another great one. Just that big, low snare drum sound for me. Yeah, and I try to get into all that technical stuff, but whatever it is about my Mayo head and constitution, I cannot get my head around. Doesn't happen for Mayo men too easy now. But America is rife with amazing chop players. It is mind-numbing. And it's younger they're getting. You have like 8-year-olds like blasting these things, and you're going, So, but it's at the same time, when I look at it myself, and I was watching 2 clips there before we went live here, and it was of, and this is just my personal taste, and that's only me talking for myself, but it seems a lot of the attraction to drums now is lots of fast fills over lots of chops on bass, and these very obscure kind of progressive kind of stuff where nobody is actually playing a backbeat, you know, and it's all just cacophonous, if you like. Yeah. And it seems, I don't know where it's coming from. So it just goes back, for me, it's just all simplicity for me. That's just me being a lazy asshole now because I couldn't be arsed to learn as well the technical stuff. So I'm trying to make it sound as sweet as I can.
Well, I know exactly where all that drumming is coming from. It's coming from the fact that people don't play a lot of people don't play in bands anymore. A lot of people are by themselves, and there's no one there to tell them. Like your guy told you, hey, it might be a bit fast. There's no one there to tell him, hey, maybe don't solo over the verse. Maybe don't play a double kick drum fill while I'm trying to sing the fucking chorus. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know much, but I know when not to fill and when to fill, you know? So I think that's it. I think a lot of it's like, hey, let me show you what I can do. Let me show you all my vocabulary at once instead of keeping things, you know, a little bit closer to the vest, or just like you said, like a song like Tougher Than the Rest. I mean, none of those people could play that song and play it well because they're too busy thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about what the song means. They're not thinking about what the artist is trying to convey. You know, the stuff that they play over, they don't really give a shit about. They just want to play. They just want to showcase themselves, and that's the way it's going right now.
I agree.
Amazing. Yeah, it's just been blowing my mind how it's every single one I'm seeing is just. It's like it's a trending thing, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this online, but for whatever reason, I don't know how this started, but that song "Everybody Wants to Rule the World" by Tears for Fears has now become this weird kind of drum challenge thing where they play whatever beat they want to play over it, and I'll bet you 9 out of 10 of them can't play the original beat, which is actually, as simplistic as it sounds, is actually pretty challenging to play.
It is.
The actual written beat that I forget who played drums on that track, but whoever did that, it's this kind of offbeat shuffle thing. And those fucking guys that play that, I get so mad at that. I gotta put the phone down when I see shit like that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's impressive for sure. Like it's incredibly impressive and it's entertaining. But for me, I do have to try and I'll go fold my laundry otherwise. You know?
Yeah, I mean, play the original song. It's really challenging. Go play the original song.
Yeah, and Rickie,
it is.
You also did a great. You raised a bunch of money for, but it was over $6,000 for the Cancer Society in your drumming videos. Am I right? Was it last year?
Yeah.
You see, I disagree with you. I love your humility, but at the same time, I disagree with you because I think that you can play that technical stuff. I think that your abilities are far beyond what you're telling us. Because I saw some of those chops that you learned for. Because people would so just to let everybody know. So what Rickie was doing, he was raising money for the Irish Cancer Society, and he'd ask, you know, people would request him to play a few bars of one of their favorite songs, like a System of a Down or Beat It, or just something, just every kind of genre. Nothing was out of bounds, and they would request it, and he'd go in, he'd play a few bars, and the break in Queen of the Stone Age.
No one knows, is it?
Yes. And again, I've seen people butcher that one. They make it sound more like the John Bonham, shoes in the dryer ending of rock and roll. But just it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant, and such a obviously you're locked down. You're not going anywhere, but just what a great use of your time and your energy and your abilities, and you really did. You thrilled. Not only myself, but all those people that were watching. That was brilliant. It was hats off to you.
Thanks a million. I mean, that means the world. Thanks a lot. It's mad to think that it's just crazy just the way the internet works, that was being transmitted to you guys there and that you were seeing all that. So that's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it was all about, it wasn't even my idea. It was actually a friend of mine in Galway who said on like day 4 of the lockdown, oh, you should take requests for drumming videos. And I said, yeah, okay. And then I did one, and I remember the first one ever was Danny California by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And you can see my journey of talking to the camera and confidence kind of arcing and going into this skyrocket from the first video to the last one. But I just started shouting and editing it crazy and putting in different things and really going to town. So it's as two temporal positions. The first and last one are completely different beasts. But the journey in between was an absolute great thing for me. It was a great thing for the Irish Cancer Society. Yeah, I mean, and it was something to get up for in the morning, you know. It was something to get up for. It was something to apply the head to. And you know, and people were throwing stuff at me like play Tool. I was like, what? And then I'd have to go off and learn this Tool song. And it's like, oh Jesus, what is this? You know, you're counting it out. Oh, but like for the little 40-second clip I get of me playing a Tool song, I'd be up since 6 a.m. trying to see what the fuck was going on in it, you know. So, but it was great and people enjoyed it. Whatever about doing it and having that whole experience of putting out videos of playing and raising money, I think the biggest triumph of the whole thing, aside from raising the money, was I finished it at the right time. Yeah. You know, I think I stopped it. I just before I became annoying, I think. You know, I reckon that was the case. And yeah, so again, it was all down to timing, funny enough, you know. So it worked well. It's done. I think doing any more would be a bit repetitive, at least at the minute. Yeah. You know, at least at the minute. So, but yeah, it was a great thing. It passed the weeks for me big time. It improved my playing for sure. All of which has since been lost. You know, since May, it's back to the drawing board, boys. But yeah, it was great. It was really great. But yeah, it's kind of you don't realize, and I don't realize how many people that kind of touched in a way, because you know there was so many people out there who've seen it that it meant something too, you know, because cancer affects everyone. My mom passed away of cancer, and it will trickle down effect. It's going to affect someone that you know or someone that knows someone that you know. So it wasn't my idea. It wasn't my idea. I have to put my hand up and say that. It was a friend of mine called Declan Coolahan in Galway who said you should do it for maybe a charity. And I was like, Jesus, you know what? This guy is probably onto something here. And it was actually a big shock because I set the first marker to make $500. And I was like, we might get that by the end of the week. We might not. Who knows? Because I'd never done anything like that. And we had it in like an hour. Yeah. Less than an hour. We had 500 cleared. And that whole thing was just me upping the ante constantly with the money and the funds. And I couldn't believe it. I think by day 2, I'd over like $2,000, maybe less, small bit less shy of $2,000. Yeah. But really incredible stuff. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about, we'll see how generous people really are when I set up the Send Rickie to Vegas fund. It's not going to happen.
Watch it. Be careful.
It's just going to be fucking crickets. Crickets.
Well, yeah.
Big campaign going on.
Yeah, be careful. These rich Texas women now, they'll fund it themselves. So watch out.
That's fine. That's totally fine. But no, I appreciate your words and thanks very much.
So I had the chance to open for the Saw Doctors many moons ago. Obviously, long. And just for those who don't know, we actually Blaggards have covered. Now there's a handful, but Tume, N17,
used to
love, yeah,
and
Strangers.
Oh, never mind the Strangers. Yeah.
So we used to now not at the same time because there's more than 3 chords there. We have to change the chalkboard to learn it. But we did, and it was those songs were highly requested. I don't even know how we stumbled across the Saw Doctors that many years ago, but I had a chance to open for them in a great place here in Houston. It's gone now, of course, but called the Engine Room, downtown Houston, and brilliant stage and great sound,
Fabulous.
all that stuff. But the lads were as nice as could be. So I knew when you got, when you got lined up with them, I knew it was going to be something else. And again.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and we watched the videos you sent over.
Yeah,
Island.
Yes, you relit that flame. Not that they were thing, but I mean, you really brought a whole new spark to that band. So I've seen them. Seen them. Yeah, and they're great at what they do, but you really did. You lit them on fire. They didn't have that before you joined. So, I'll have to up with management if you like, but you did. It's true.
Thank you so much. Thanks. That means the world to me. It was getting to join them. Yeah, it was I'll just give you the story of how it happened. It all came from Dublin Grooves.
Oh, really?
It all stemmed from that video.
Brilliant.
Because their drummer at the time, Avian Craddock, saw that. And he was thinking, for a while, he'd been with them for 8-9 years at that point. And Avian is a very good friend of mine now. And and it's just, oh God, just there's so many little moments that happened. I remember being at a festival in Sligo with my dad and my brother. My dad and my brother were essentially working at it, kind of looking after the beer kegs and making sure all the bars were full of beer and stuff. And the Saw Doctors were playing. And it was a crazy moment because they were one of the main acts in the big tent and they were playing. And I was watching them with my brother. And I was just looking at them and I said to my brother, I was like, how do you get into something like that? How does that happen for somebody to get how does that happen? I just didn't know. And what are you supposed to do? This is how the crazy world is and then fast forward a couple of years and Jesus, you're in that position. It's just weird how you have this thought and then it's like a punctuation or an ending to that wonder. Then this is how it works, So I offered to audition for them. I set up a gig in the Roisin Dove in Galway. I didn't set it up. Friends of mine were playing there and I asked them, could I sit in for a couple of songs? And so the lads could come in and see me playing. And they did. They came in and that was a great night. So it was a very mixed bag of stuff because not too long before that, my mother had just passed away. So that was kind of a buffer into this new world where you're going, well, the world is about to open up here in a massive, So they came in and you know what? Age age, me being a bit younger than them, wasn't an issue at all. They heard me playing Creedence Clearwater Revival and Manish Boy with the band that was there that I was playing with, and they were just like, "That's our guy," and that was it. That did it for them, you know.
Nice one,
Cool.
And Avin,
Yeah,
he saw your video. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, go on. He did see my video, and then he reached out. He reached out to me and said, "I love that kind of stuff. That's amazing what you're doing. The creativeness behind it, the production quality, all this kind of stuff." And this was 2009, so it's still fairly pretty new to YouTube, that kind of thing. But we stole it off Jojo Mayer, who did it in New York. Yeah, you know this, Eric.
I was going to ask you. I wasn't going to critique it. I was going to say, hey, didn't JoJo do that in the streets of New York? But anyway, now the truth is out. Exactly.
It's all there.
Anyway,
we took off him. So I remember being in college in Dundalk, which is possibly the greatest small town in Ireland. But we were up there in college, not learning much because I didn't want to. And I was living with a very good friend of mine who's a good friend now. He was a film student. So he was like, let's do this. So we just did it. Frank was there. Frank is as solid as a rock when it comes to that kind of stuff. He just brings you these places. He loves that as well, my dad. He just loves being in that creative age and just watching it. And he is an absolute fantastic man in that regard.
Let me stop you right there. Hold on just 1 second. I agree with everything you said there. I agree wholeheartedly. But he's got the biggest heart I've ever met. I used to talk to him on the phone quite a bit. And, I felt I was kind of just... But everything you said there is absolutely beyond it's everything and more. He is he's a god. I think the world of him. So please send my best to him. I can't agree with you anymore. He's one of my.
Of course.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's absolutely brilliant. It's like that whole thing. I mean, he's been doing that for so long with bringing me places, like he's solid as a rock. I remember like my brothers telling me when they were playing football when they were young, and it just shows you like it could be a Sunday evening, pissing down rain, and the match could be on somewhere in the back Arse of Mayo, and they'd get to the match and Frank would be the only parent there watching. He's just there. But I digress. So we made that video, and basically Avin got in touch and said, "Love what you're doing." Little did I know he was sizing me up for the Docs job to see what I'd be able for it. And I had seen Avin playing many times, and I was like, "Jesus, it's great." I didn't know him, and so I met him first. I was very kind of starstruck by him, and then. The funny thing was, I was actually supposed to go to London to college to drum. And I got in there. I went, and like again, Frank, solid as the day is long, brought us over to London. And I remember it was during these savage riots that was going on over there. There was serious rioting going on, buildings being burnt down. It was horrible. So we had to go over in the thick of that, check out this room in a house. Luckily enough that one of the guys living in the house was from Mayo. He was like, "Look, the room is yours, man. If you want to live there and you can start your college, the college is not too far away." And of course, Dad, I hadn't funds at the time. I hadn't any real income coming in, And so Dad was there, and he, paid for the deposit on the house, everything. And it was going back. I was supposed to start in the college that September. This was July. And I was coming back through Heathrow Airport. I got a call from Avin saying, "Do you want to join the Saw Doctors in December?" So I was like, "What?" So I was just terrified to tell him my dad, because he's just forked out a bit of money to pay for a deposit. So I was like, oh shit, what's he going to say? So I had to, I had to tell him, and I rang all my family and said, this is after happening. I'm after getting this call. And what made it what romanticized the notion more was that Aveen rang me while the Saw Doctors were in, they were going through customs because they were going over to the Melody tent in Boston. And so he was like, oh yeah, we're just here. I'm just about to get on a plane to go to Boston for a week, doing a bit of a tour. But do you want to join them? And I was just like, oh my God, are you serious? So with no guarantee I would get the gig with them. It was, I said, you know what, this does not happen every day of the week. And it turned, and I told my dad, and I remember he was reading some kind of British newspaper, which I'd imagined, it was just, he didn't know what was going on in anything he was reading. I rang the college the next day and told them, I said, look, I'm not going to be coming here because this is after happening to me. And they didn't say it, but I think they might have known who the band was because his voice kind of flattened out. He went from teacher, educator person to fucking kudos, man. As a human to human, that's a great gig.
Yeah.
Do he seemed to have lost all that hierarchiness of a really prestigious school,
Brilliant.
And he just said, that's great. And he said, and they did Drum Tech in London, did a great thing as well. They said, okay, we're going to defer you for a year. If this doesn't pan out the way you want it, you can come back next year and start this course and you don't have to re-audition. And so that was a move on them. That was so generous. Wow. So generous. But yeah, and then that from there it just was fireworks,
Wow.
Do you have a favorite gig with them?
Favorite gig. That's a good one now. Manchester Apollo is great. The House of Blues in Boston is great. We played Des Moines, Iowa. That was great. The flyover states. We did all America, everywhere but Texas, it seems, in my experience. But I'm sure we might have passed through there at some point during the night. But America, you go there and the gigs are just these absolute things in a different league because the American audiences are so up for it and they're so on your side before a chord is even struck or a drum even hit,
Yeah.
And they're just there and they're supportive and they, especially up around New Jersey and places like that, they bring you cake and your face is made into a cake and you're kind of looking at them going, Jesus, this is mental. But it's one of them most, it changed the path of my life. That whole, even to this day, it just opened up a wide range of opportunities, and it shaped me. It gave me it really helped with my personality and my, just the way I carry on in life. It has all come from the lads and the Saw Doctors, and and that is, I can't ever repay that. That's the thing, because it's an invaluable.
You did. You already paid them back. I heard you play with them. You gave them fire they didn't have. I'm telling you.
Thank you, God.
No,
thank you. But
it's funny. I got a text from Eric, and Eric sends me a picture, and he goes, "Rickie wears shorts and
Gloves.
Gloves.
And I said no.
Drumming gloves.
I said, no, that's not him. That's not him. That's not you. Relax. He was about to come in with ready for a scrap. I was like, no. I said, no. You got the wrong guy. No, this guy's good. No, but that's brilliant.
It's actually no. It's just like starting with the band. It took me a while to find my image with the band in that, what to wear and stuff like that. I only found it in the last couple of years. Was for me it wasn't ever sports, even though I did do that for a while. But the lads don't care what you wear. They don't give a damn. They love anything. They're brilliant. They're just great support network, and I just cannot. They've shaped me into the kind of character I am, and it's their little. It's been on the road with them, and you turn into a man on them kind of tours. When you're around them kind of fellas for a while, and you become. You get your what is it? Your social chops,
Oh yeah,
that's where it happens, and it's lethal, and it's something it's there in that line of work is that they're like yourselves, choptastic with social stuff and people and great, and it seems to have to come with the territory, and I didn't know that before. It does.
Absolutely does. And I'm going to do a lightning round here. Chad, biggest pet peeve on the stage?
Oh God!
Don't say singers.
Probably when audience members try to force themselves onto the stage and try to force themselves and make themselves part of the show just because they want the attention. They figure they deserve the attention more than you do. That type of thing.
Yeah. Top marks. Eric, biggest pet peeve on the stage?
Well, Chad just took mine, so I'm going to say
you took number one.
I'm going to say maybe noodling in between songs. People that kind of do this, especially with guitars. Yeah.
Rickie, biggest pet peeve on the stage?
Oh God! Oh Jesus! You see, like if something breaks, is that a pet peeve though?
Yeah.
Is that a pet peeve?
Yeah. Well, and it can be out of negligence too. Somebody just not taking care of the gear, and it's it screws up again.
Yeah. If something breaks, I think something breaks because that, especially for drummers anyway, it's like. If any of these go, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
I'm screwed. So I think that's a fear, a massive fear that shit is going to break.
Yeah. I have that.
You like that as well?
That's my first. I can't start the first chord. I usually have to start the first chord of this, of the first note of the night, or you have to say something, or that first moment. If I could just jump past that first moment into the second moment, be it a second or a split second, or I would do that every single time because I the first boom you're on, that's my most terrifying moment.
Really?
Yeah.
It never shows ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shows in here
ever, but ever.
I have to agree. You kind of all took my pet peeves, but yeah, again, mine is the sandals and the shorts on the stage. Of course, you're not going to get that in Ireland very much, unless you're trying to catch cold. But mine's I was a friend of mine yesterday, and you see the shorts and the sandals, and they're sitting on a stool on a stage. I say, fuck off, go home.
Ah.
So that's
yeah. It's everywhere now. It's everywhere.
Yeah. And another question. So I'm going to start from the back now. So Rickie, the world is wide open right now. Where's the first place you go play with the Saw Doctors today? Getting on plane anywhere. Where do you go?
It would For me, like I'd love to do Central Park in New York City.
Good one.
Because why not? Hopefully do a Garrett Brooks 1997 on it or whatever that was, and it's just blocks of people, you know. But that's where I'd go probably. We probably should do a homecoming, even though the biggest gig I did with the Ducks was in Galway City.
Really?
That was 42,000 people. Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit!
For
that's
the
like
Volvo Ocean race.
That's like a supermarket here in Texas.
Oh yeah! Oh, stop! Incredible, isn't it? Jesus, it's unreal. So that was in 2012. And would you believe? You know yourselves, it's. I get more nervous at the smaller gigs. To be honest with you, I was more nervous in the Troubadour in Los Angeles than I was in the fucking Volvo Ocean race because people are right there.
What was the gig in Galway? What was the
Volvo Ocean race? It was all kind of boats coming in on the dock. They'd been done like a loop with the land or whatever the hell it was. I'm not really too sure, but a big event. They had to turn people away. They could not fit anymore, you know. And we were on the stage. President Michael D. Higgins was sitting to my left on the stage. He was there watching with his wife.
He could have sat on your shoulder. You could have had him, you know. Stop.
He could have. Yeah. So that was great. Like, you forget. I mean, you're just kind of numb through all these gigs, aren't you? It's over, and you're like, God, I wish I savored that a bit more. I wish I was more present. Do you get that as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%. I'm lucky because I have Chad to say, Chad, where were we last night, and what did we? You know, how was the show? But Chad's
every band needs a Chad.
Yeah, he's got a pornographic and a photographic memory at the same time. So he only gives me the good half, which is nice. And but Chad will give you time and date and place, and he's not too good with the names unless you're a young lady under the age of 96 and over the age of.
They're around.
But he's brilliant at that. It's a never-ending timestamp, and you know, and the recollection. It may not be there that minute, but then you get a phone call later. Got it, and blah blah blah. You know,
right?
You know, Eric and I share that. We share that same haze where we go. I don't
know. Isn't it the most beautiful haze to wander into, though? It's quite lovely when your memory goes that like kind of shot out from exhaustion that you're just like, I have no idea where we were yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
I like being there. I like being in that zone because you know you're doing something good.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's a very positive feeling.
Yes, because you're not wondering, you know, because you know exactly yesterday if you were in a cubicle making phone calls you didn't want to make, talking to people you don't want to know, you know. You know, that's kind of, you know, so yeah, ours is great because we have miles and miles behind us and still miles to go in front of us. And it's all, you know, it's never the same. It's also, you know what I mean? It's all, of course, you know what I mean. You live it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it. I mean, like, do you blog? Would you guys blog? Have you done that?
Not really.
No. I tried it a long time ago.
How was it?
Made my hands sore. What do you say? Oh, blog. Yeah. Blog. Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Are you guys a three-piece now?
No, we have a guy here in town that plays fiddle for us. He's got a full-time job, so we can't take him on the road. And nor is the road open to us currently. Yeah. So, but we have a guy in town. We have another our ex fiddle player in Austin can sit in if we go to, you know, because we're not planning to. We just recorded a new record, and so once we get that record out, we're going to have to hit the road again. And we have a friend of ours that's going to come in and tour with us if and when the roads open up again. But for right now, for our Texas shows, we have our ex fiddle player Chris Buckley and our other ex fiddle player Jeff Duncan, who who both are beyond, they're beyond brilliant as far as players go, and people, but neither of them can tour. So we have another friend of ours that's able to hit the road with us.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Are you there?
Oh, West of Ireland Wi-Fi is a killer.
Well, isn't it?
It is a killer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's brutal out there.
Oh.
So I mean, obviously you're in touch with the Saw Doctors, you're in touch with the lads, right?
Yeah.
Is there hope? I mean,
Quite regularly.
Yeah, good.
I mean, it's hard to know. I don't know what's happening. I mean, it's just a shame when you see all that's gone on the last year and you're just going, okay, well, it's, everything will have to get back to, if we want to get back to the gigs, because Saw Doctors gigs aren't like a Blaggards gig. You're not supposed to be sitting down, You're not supposed to be, it's supposed to be shoulder to shoulder madness.
Yeah.
And that's how it has to work. And that's the model of, that's how people want it. That's how the lads want to play it. So I think until everything gets greenlit to go back to normal, probably there'll be no touring planned, until there's an absolute green light from the world, as they want to put it,
Yeah.
Am I there?
You're indeed. Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming
West of Ireland Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
There he is. Brutal. Sorry, lads.
No, don't be. Listen, hopefully this lockdown is not going to be long at all. But I'd love to do this again with you, because I'd love to do it just to keep up with you. 2021, we're going to make it over there this year. I know we are. It has to happen. So we'd love to come over and see you in the flesh.
Do it. This is your home away from home. You're welcome here anytime. You just have to give me like 10 minutes notice. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I'll be there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Or I'll be there very quickly. But yourselves this year. So you're like, the Galway gets a great hype when you come to town, especially the King's Head and stuff like that, I don't know if you remember Brendan Dow. Do you know Brendan?
Oh, very well. Yes, the sound man.
Brendan sends his love anytime I'm talking to him,
Yeah.
So he's great. He's still cooking around the town, so he is. He's still flying it. Brendan's one of the best in the business. He's brilliant,
Yes,
and he remembers you very fondly.
Oh, he's top drawer, that fella.
He is.
Yeah. But let's do this again if you can. If we can grab you again, and we'll put a time limit on it so we don't ruin your whole night. But I'd love to get you back on and just keep up with you and see if we can, push the. Do you have your own website?
No, I don't have my own website.
You need that.
I'm going to try my best. It's going to be a good year. I hope you can come over here, and I will happily come on this again and talk, because this has been amazing crack, and it's great to see you.
Likewise. I can't thank you enough. It's a thrill to have you on, and I'm dying for you, and we're dying to meet you at home in a pub doing it right,
Yes.
Yes. Well, let's take care of yourself, and love to the family. You're
of course. Yeah.
a gem for coming on. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rickie.
Thanks a million. My pleasure.
Thanks, Rickie.
We'll see you soon, Chad, Patrick, and Eric. Bye-bye.
See you, man.
Cheers. Thanks
See ya.
for being there, Rickie. Bye-bye.
He's leaving us with a smile.
Yeah, that Wi-Fi is tough.
Yeah.
There must be someone else in town on it.
But just was such an eloquent, just lively, just you can imagine what's going to happen now when we meet in person, in Galway or beyond. It's going to be a true gentleman, and his father's the exact same. His father's just the nicest person. Like Eric, he was saying that they saw us in Galway, and they drove. He and the dad drove to Cork, which of course you know the distance too. They just and they dropped gear up to us in Dublin. Wouldn't take any money for it. I mean, just his dad would walk the stuff there piece by piece, you know, to wherever you are to make sure you had it. He's just a gem.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was there. Eric sent me a picture yesterday of the drummer in gloves and the shorts, and it looked like Striper kicked him out for being too.
Was that the drummer who discovered Rickie? Was that the guy?
I think so. I think that's him. I'm not familiar with that. I knew who the guitar player was. I knew his name. I've forgotten it now. You know, the Saw Doctor stuff, I wasn't kidding. I mean, it was heavily requested. I remember that my favorite one being, do you guys play that NC-17 song? I go,
yeah, that one by far.
They're all NC-17 sometimes.
Exactly. When you do it right. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So
my favorite with that song, though, is when we do the Big Balls and Vaseline variation on the words.
Yes. And
there's a purist in the audience who gets pissed off. That happened once at Fido. There was a couple of Irish girls who were like, what are you singing the words wrong for? I think it only happened once.
I think it was College Station too. We've had people that come in and they'd say, you're not a, you know, they'll get pissed on that subject too. They get pissed off because we're not doing the Irish songs like the original.
Like you're supposed to play. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I remember a couple of incidences where they go, that's not Irish. I go, good. You see the crowd in here? Yeah, that's what they're hiring us for. Now fuck off.
Right.
Yeah,
it's funny to me that the place that we were most worried about our reception from Irish people in Ireland, that's where they've always the most open arms and the most open-minded and welcoming. You know, nobody ever got on our case for not playing things authentically or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's only over here. People have that attitude. Weird.
Yeah. And they don't have, I mean, Eric, you know, when you went over too, I mean, people are and of course, Rickie said it too, when he did his, he was raising money for the Cancer Society, you know, the generosity and the, you know, when you do it right, when you're not faking it, when you're not stealing a song or you're not going on faking an accent or faking, you know, you will be, you know, if you're doing it right and you're giving it everything, you know, you're always accepted, you know, it's.
Yeah. Nicest people over there.
Yeah. Generous and just as nice as the day, honest, you know, they're honest about their music. They're honest about, I mean, Rickie is so humble. His drumming is not, it's not mediocre. I mean, it's quite brilliant, and his you know, his approach to drumming is so. I kid you not, the Saw Doctors without him were a good band. The Saw Doctors with him are a great band. You know,
it was too funny that drumming video he did. The very first thing I thought of was that he mentioned it. The Jojo Mayer, Jojo's a drummer, obviously, and he put out an instructional video, and in between the instructional settings, he was playing on the streets of New York City with the exact same microphone.
Really?
The microphone is the exact same model that Rickie was using. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's just like the Jojo Mayer thing. Interesting. And it's the same kind of setup, like a kick and a snare. And I think Jojo had it's a kick, snare, hi-hat, ride kind of a thing, you know, a much smaller, way smaller kick drum than what Rickie had. But it was just like, oh, that's the Jojo Mayer thing. That's kind of cool. And then he mentioned it. I was like, that's the thing I was talking about. Mentioned it.
Yeah.
It's too funny.
But again, he wouldn't dream of going. I mean, you talk to him for 2 seconds, you know, he wouldn't dream of going, oh, you know, that was my idea. You know, he would never.
Oh yeah, no, of course not. Yeah.
Yeah, never steal that. Well, would you ever do anything like that, Eric? Would you ever be comfortable doing that?
Maybe if I thought about it for a minute.
Yeah.
Put some ideas together.
Yeah, you're not the kind to just run out and go, hey, watch me solo. It's not that. It's a real. It's
no.
It's more. Wouldn't you think it'd be more an art piece than a?
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
I just think it'd be cool. I just think, and that drum kit yesterday, you know, your new kit, just sitting in that natural sunlight was just, it really is. That's an art piece. I mean, that really is an art piece.
So those are some pretty drums. Yeah.
Yeah. And they sound great.
I hemmed and hawed for like months about not what the shell construction was going to be, because they make the shells all different kinds of ways, different woods and whatnot, but what color was I going to use? And when I had gone to the factory the first time, I took pictures because they had a couple drum sets that were being made. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. That's interesting. And you go online and you look at all the different colors and combinations and all that kind of stuff. And then finally I was like, I saw that drum set at the drum convention, that color, and like, that's it exactly. Because online it looks like one thing. It looks like almost like my other kit, like kind of an off-white thing, even though it says pale blue. And then I saw the kit and I took a picture of it and I sent it to my guy at DW. I go, this is what I want. He's like, oh, you want that pale blue oyster? Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice.
Yeah.
So that was spectacular. Chad, you got your work cut out for you, my friend. That's
all I was thinking the whole time. It's like, can't use that part. Oh, I can salvage this. So, forget the video. Video's useless.
Yeah, he's just but again, his character and his charm carry it way above and beyond those dead spots,
Mm-hmm.
But I like the Arse and Mayo. I like that as the.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, Chad, I should have, because you had the. I
probably was thinking about something else, about the audio at that point. There was some stuff that I could tell that you guys were hearing that I wasn't hearing, because it's weird that way. So.
Yeah, I was watching your facial expressions when it was cutting out to see if anybody was getting it. Yeah. I was watching you guys.
Same here. But,
again, that's another one of the stage things too. We get that stage vocabulary going. That's not an audible or visual thing. It's a feel.
Right.
So that was fun.
Yeah, for sure.
It was fun.
Yeah, let's do it again. Let's do 102.
Okay.
Next week?
Yeah.
I meant to ask him if he was a victim or a Viking on that show. So,
Victim or Viking. I like it. Good title. Viking or victim.
All right. I got to run and teach my lesson. So
yeah, thanks, Eric.
See you guys.
Thanks, Chad. See you later.